When it comes to you being an HVAC technician or salesperson, what is a word track that you can use to help you close deals, sell parts, or even sell memberships? This is an important question. I'm Scott Silvenbell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Today we're talking about word tracks. So if you said, hey Scott, what's a word track? A word track is 1, 2, 3, or 4 sentences combined together to get you some momentum in the sales process that you could use to either get the sale moving or deal with an objection. So you take a whole bunch of these word tracks and stitch them together. Now you have a sales script. So you're like, okay, Scott, what is this amazing word track? Well, I'm actually going to give you a thought process, but I got to tell you a story first, and I hope you're okay with that. There's a big reason why here. So there was an ad writer in the 1930s, and he lived to be like into the 1960s. His name was Claude Hopkins. And Claude Hopkins would go places and figure out how to write some of the best ads. So I want to introduce you to a concept from Schlitz beer. Now, Schlitz was around the Great Lakes, and so his job was to figure out how to sell more beer. And you're like, hey, Scott, anybody can sell more beer. Just go to a college. You know, you can sell more beer. You could be like Santa Barbara and use up 1% of the beer population in the world. They didn't have those stats back then, okay? Goleta is a good party town if you've ever been there. So Claude Hopkins goes to Schlitz beer, and he says, take me on a tour on your plant. So they walk him outside, and there's a big artesian well that's drilled into the lake, and it goes down something like 2,000 or 3,000 feet. And he's like, that's interesting. Then they take him into the building, and they show him where the steam bath is, where they steam bath the bottles at, 1,000,000 degrees, made up number right there. Then they take him to the mother yeast cell, and they show him how the mother yeast cell is done, and they show him how 1 out of every 10 bottles was rejected because it wasn't pure enough. So Claude Hopkins goes and writes ads using reason why, right? This is the reason why. So we think in terms, this has influenced us greatly. We think in terms of what's the reason why this happened. So somebody may not come out and go, what's the reason why this happened? They may go, why did this happen? Okay. And so when you're explaining damage to a homeowner, there's going to be times where you have to put some conjecture in, like, hey, I got to give you a couple of guesses on the reason why this happened, right? Could be that your return is too small, you haven't changed your filter frequently enough, you're running a blower motor with a bad capacitor. That could be a reason why. Or you're talking about a fact, a known fact, right? So the reason why your system's not working is it's flat, there's no refrigerant. The reason why your system's not working is your blower motor shot, the EEM motor's bad. The reason why your system's not working is the gas valve won't open. So you've got 2 ways to use reason why: conjecture / probability and full-on fact. Now, as a heating air conditioning technician, the thing that you should do is join HVAC Tech Secrets. And the reason why is I will share with you the goods that are not in the Facebook group and that are not on the YouTube channel. See, that's how it works. So when you have these conversations with your homeowner, when you have these conversations with your buyer, something for you to remember is please tell the truth. When you start using word tracks and you start getting used to the patterns and start having the ability to have conversations, you will find how easy it is to set leads. And there's going to be a point where you're sitting there and you're like, I got to find all the reasons why I shouldn't set this lead because I got to make sure to do the right thing for the buyer. Versus, here's all the reasons why we should set the lead. And then you're like, man, this thing's really only like a 3-year-old system. I don't really need to set the lead. It's just easy. So the reason why you want to pay attention to this is because the ability to have a conversation with confidence is the one thing that swings people's beliefs in what's going on. There you go. Now, the reason why you should hit subscribe is I put out a lot of videos and they will help you be good at what you do. So you got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Hit subscribe, and every time that HVAC Technician Sales Secret sends out a video, you'll get an update, and you should watch it, which you should. We'll see you soon.